Hi everyone, my name is Ilyne Magno. I'm also known as Sandy, and today I will be going to discuss about vertical farming. So by 2050, the Earth's population is expected to increase to around 10 billion. And feeding this massive population will be a huge challenge. Due to the increasing urbanization as well as industrial development, we are losing arable lands every day. Scientists and other researchers says that we already lost a third of the world's arable land 40 years ago. And we don't know what will happen or how much more arable lands we are going to lose in the next 40 years. The increasing food demand due to the growing population along with the decrease in arable lands poses a big threat to human civilization. Many people says that vertical farming is one of the best solutions to all of these challenges. But let me ask you a question. Is vertical farming the future of agriculture? Is it going to play a significant role in facing challenges such as food demand worldwide? Let's find out. But before we dig deeper into vertical farming or the concept of vertical farming, let us first discuss its history. So vertical farming is not a new idea or a new concept. Indigenous people in South America have long used vertical farming in their farming techniques. And Southeast Asian people have long used vertical farming as well through rice terraces. It's a similar concept to vertical farming. And the word vertical farming has been coined by an American geologist named Gilbert Ellis Bailey in 1915. And since then, many scientists, architects, and as well as researchers had been looking into this concept, especially during the late 20th century. The concept of integrating agriculture into a built environment was invented in a Danish farmhouse back in 1950s. They attempted to grow cress. Cress is a peppery, tangy flavored herb botanically related to mustard, and they attempted to grow this in a factory on a mass scale. Today, a more evolved type of urban farming where produce is grown in a fully controlled vertically indoor urban environment is attracting worldwide attention. US, European, and Asian countries had been conducting research as well as development on this concept for decades. I know a lot of you guys are asking what is vertical farming and how does vertical farming work? Well, vertical farming is a new practice of producing food in a vertically inclined structure. So instead of farming in a single level or producing food as well as other vegetables in a single level such as in soil or in fields or greenhouses, this method uses vertically layered structures which is integrated into skyscrapers, shipping containers, as well as repurposed warehouses. And by using the SIA technology, or more commonly known as controlled environment agricultural technology, this new method uses indoor farming techniques. The control of light, humidity, temperature, as well as gases also helps improve food production as well as medicine production indoors. So to sum it all up, greenhouse and vertical farming are quite similar to each other because both uses metal reflectors as well as artificial lighting in producing or augmenting sunlight or natural sunlight. So artificial or vertical farming rather is its main priority or its main goal is to basically produce more crop outputs in a very small or limited space. Now let's go to how vertical farming works. Now there are four areas that we need to consider for vertical farming to work. First would be the physical layout. Second is the lighting. Third would be the growing medium. And fourth, but not the least, is the sustainability features. So the top priority of vertical farming is to be able to produce more foods in or per square meter. So to be able to achieve this goal, crops are cultivated in a layer or in a tower-like structure. Second, lighting is very important. So artificial lighting as well as the natural lighting, if combined together, produces the perfect level of lighting needed in vertical farming. Technology such as rotating beds is actually very good in improving energy efficiency. So third, the growing medium. So instead of using soil, aeroponics, aquaponics, and hydroponics are actually used as a medium in vertical farming. Peat moss, coconut husks, and other non-soil materials or mediums are also very common in vertical farming. And last but definitely not the least, is the sustainability feature. So vertical farming uses a lot of sustainability features for it to be able to offset the cost of energy. And of course, one of this is that vertical farming uses 95% less water. So now we are going to discuss about the advantages as well as the disadvantages of vertical farming. So first, we are going to discuss the advantages. Number one, vertical farming can be our preparation for the future. With the increasing urbanization and population, the food demand also increases. And vertical farming can be one of the best solutions to that challenges. Number two, increase in year-round crop production. Well, basically, vertical farming does not rely on weather and seasonality of food production. So it can yield crop production all year round. Number three, it uses less water in cultivation. We can save up to 70 to 95% of water through vertical farming. Number four, it is not affected by unfavorable weather conditions. So basically, when you are in vertical farming, you are farming indoors. So it is not affected by any extreme weather conditions like floods, typhoons, or drought. And number five, the increase in production of organic crops. Vertical farming does not use any pesticides. So basically, all of the food or crops that they produce are all organic as well as pesticide free. And last but not the least, for the advantages, human or vertical farming can be human and environmentally friendly. Vertical farming does not pose any hazard to humans as compared to the traditional agriculture, which poses hazardous threats to farmers, such as hazards in using heavy equipments, diseases like malaria, and chemicals that can be found on pesticide. And vertical farming also does not pose any threat to animals as well as plants. That is why it is good for our biodiversity. So our next topic is about the disadvantages of vertical farming. Number one, vertical farming is very expensive. It's self-explanatory. With the use of many equipment as well as machineries and modern technology, vertical farming can be quite expensive. Number two, difficulties in pollination. Without the presence of insect in vertical farming, pollination is done manually by workers. And then the next would be labor costs. In vertical farming, only skilled workers are hired, or workers that are good in the field of indoor farming are hired. So their salary or wages can be a little bit costly. Number four, fewer jobs. Since vertical farming only requires a small amount or limited amount of space, fewer and technology is also used instead of the traditional farming techniques. So basically, in vertical farming, only few people are employed. The next would be lower worker efficiency. So the layout of vertical farming may pose a big challenge for the workers to reach each layers. And climbing to upper layers takes time as well as energy, decreasing the overall employee efficiency. And last but not the least, for the disadvantages is that it uses, or vertical farming uses, or is too much dependent on technology. Vertical farming uses state-of-the-art technology as well as machineries for the crops to be yielded yearly. So it is quite meticulous at the same time, because if you lose the power even just for a day, it may cost a lot for a vertical farm. So now let's find out how vertical farming can help mitigate the issues when it comes to food scarcity worldwide. So the global megatrends of decreasing water supply as well as increasing population, urbanization, and climate change, all of these challenges can pose a big threat to the decreasing amount of arable land per person. So under the circumstances, traditional farming or sustainability for traditional farming is becoming under threat in the following decades. So scientists as well as researchers propose that enable for us to face all of these challenges when it comes to food scarcity, vertical farming can be our best possible solution. So as I have mentioned earlier, vertical farming is based on controlled environment agriculture as well as greenhouse design, which is suitable for urban settings. So all in all, vertical farming can be our best possible solution for global food crisis. This state-of-the-art technology in agriculture is the answer to the global crisis when it comes to food supply and demand. So it's time that people should adopt to these changes in agricultural technology, since we are also experiencing changes, especially when it comes to climate change, as well as increasing urbanization and population. So therefore, vertical farming can be our best possible solution to help prevent further food scarcity all over the world. I had fun doing this video in vertical farming, although I'm not yet that knowledgeable when it comes to vertical farming. But I hope you all enjoy watching the video and you have a nice day. Thank you.